Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos, broadcasting to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. Today we're talking about Abby and Libby's case, also known as the Delphi murders. Welcome in. Good to see you, Diamonds. Sees through. Jill, Doris. What's up, Dawn?
Vincent, give me all you got! I swear, me and my brother.
Eyes on the road, sir. What's up, V? Miranda, Patricia, Shadowbox. Thanks for stopping in. Good to see you. TJ, what's up? Tattoo. Sela Stingy, what's up? Zoe, Julia. Good to see you guys. We'll get going here in just a few. So there's just really one item that I want to talk about, but anybody's welcome to call in during these open panel, open discussion. You don't have to feel pressure to call. I just want you to know that the option is there if you would like to. What's up, Shane? What's up, Miranda? Christine? What's going on, Ziggy? Thank you, V. Yeah, or whenever somebody says the goal. Can you believe they had the goal? It's part of me inside that kind of chuckles a little bit. TJ's like, I'm triggered by this person. I think it was one of those moments where you kind of say something out loud and then you're like, wait a minute. But we're all just spitballing here anyway. It's a safe space. What's up, GP? Welcome in, TJ, GP, Melissa, Wanda. Good to see you. Unmitigated. The gall. What's up, Mills? Okay, so word is on the 17th of February, just a few days after the murders of Abby and Libby, they interviewed Brad Holder and his son Logan. And now they The tapes and the interviews have mysteriously vanished, along with all the phone records and anything associated with those contacts. You guys heard about that? So that means that the defense team has recently interviewed Brad Holder, and they may have even issued some subpoenas, maybe, for those phone records. So it sounds like they took a pretty good look at these guys, right? What's up, Wanda from Missouri? Missouri. Nice. Oh, was that you, GP? I just got a notification. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's going on, Sensei?
We do not train to be merciful here. Mercy is for the weak. Here, on the street, in competition.
Uh oh. Sorry to hear that. Hope you're feeling better. Or I hope you do feel better soon. What's up, Saint? Welcome in, Charlotte. Splendid. You sound like Mr. Burns. Excellent. So, did you guys hear about that? Julia. I don't know. We can give you a Mr. Burns clip. Excellent. Good, Sensei. Good. You broke the other one. How'd that happen? All right. Done. Consider it done. Oh, that's no bueno. Hey, Hiawatha, how are you? So I think that's going to be the question of the day. Or the topic. They lost Brad Holder and Logan Holder's interviews and all the phone data and all that. My response is, so what? So what? But let me explain why. Welcome in. It's me, Julia. Let's see it. Yeah, let me just snap my fingers and get a screenshot and upload it to StreamYard and make sure the audio is correct and the format's all good. Here, give me a second. What's up, Farmer? Audio question. What's going on, Miranda? Candace? Well, I tried the whole snapping of the finger thing. It didn't work. All right, guys, let's hear it. On the 17th of February, they interviewed Brad Holder and Logan Holder and lost, I think, maybe even just the phone data. They handed over their phones. I'm sure they somehow uploaded it or downloaded it to something. And apparently they lost all of that information. My answer is, so what? Does it matter? No. But I want to hear what you have to say about that. Like, how could you, sleuth? Don't you care about truth and justice? A man's life hangs in the balance here. What's up, Robin? Robin B. Recording is not required and that the FBI doesn't record. I mean, I'm sure they did have it recorded. And I'm sure they had the phone information stored somewhere and lost it. So what? Farmer. Welcome in, sir. The Saint says, nope, it's irrelevant. That's what I say. So it looks like they took a good look at these folks and then lost all of the information and documented interactions. Man, so if they took a close look and didn't care, shouldn't that tell you something? That they were not interested. But it can't be that simple, right? It's a conspiracy. It's not that they didn't find anything. It's that they did find something and then they erased it and got rid of it so that their fellow Freemason, Brad Holder, and his young Mason pup can continue gallivanting through the woods with their with their sticks, with their pre-cut sticks. I mean, have you ever actually said that out loud? Ziggy, I agree. If there was anything incriminating them, Holder and Son, it would be a bad thing that those tapes got deleted or lost. Yep. Now that I agree with. If there was anything incriminating. But you have to ask yourself, why would they not secure that information once they analyzed it and they realized, hey, we have some real solid information here? They wouldn't lose it. That's the point. Unless you're going to try to convince a jury that the investigators, Holman, Leggett, all these guys, that they purposely got rid of these pieces of information relating to the holders. I don't know how anybody could explain that to a jury. So I don't know if they're going to be able to go and get that information or what. Good to see you, Mustang. Whoever stole the Marathon gas station tapes definitely snatched the holder times. Boom. Case closed. I like it. That's a theory I can get behind. V says, always go back to the Ron Logan affidavit about recording equipment. Can't get past it. It was written by the FBI. They're into a lot of that behavioral stuff, you know? Maybe that's part of some kind of profile. With this type of crime, this is what you can expect. "81 degrees here in Michigan, and I'm getting my weekly infusion of immune globulin. Am I saying that right? Globulin. Whatever that is. Goblin? TJ says Brad Holder is irrelevant to the trial of Richard Allen. Richard Allen's attorneys need to stop blaming Odinist and start defending their client. Or they need like a smoking gun. If you don't have a smoking gun or some type of bombshell piece of information, this is also another indication that they don't plan to go to trial. Like, you can't spend all this time on this Odinist theory and really expect these guys to be ready for a trial that has nothing to do with Odinism at all. So Nick's going to stand up there and go, well, we know you were there. Here's the timeline. Here's the witnesses. And we found your bullet. Look, check it out. It's a perfect match. All right. What do you have to say about this? Rosie's going to stand up and be like, well, we're not concerned about all of that. We want you guys to check this stuff out over here. Look, this is what we think happened. You know, just completely ignore what they're saying. Like, they need to have an answer for what the prosecution is going to bring out there. For Richard Allen's sake. Because, I mean, if there was a conspiracy, don't you think that Baldwin and Rosie would be involved in it? They'd just be kind of pushing it right along, making it look like they're putting up a fight when really they're all working for the same Illuminati cause. They're all from the same lodge. There's a conspiracy for you. They're all in on it. Hey, what's up, Brett Decker? Okay, so we know they served dozens of search warrants. Do you guys remember this guy? Hold on, let me show you this video. Can't wait till we can broadcast telekinetically. I keep forgetting we can't do that yet. Can you guys hear that?
At 6 o'clock starts now.
And we're getting our first look tonight at the remote area where two 13-year-old girls were found murdered. This comes as tips are flooding into the police station for who could be behind the killings of Libby German and Abby Williams. Police are now questioning people about the case just hours after putting out an image of a man that they said they wanted to
Thank you,
talk
V.
to.
This man was on the same trail.
Up. Hold that thought. Anne Marie Tiernan and John Stair. Hold it. Let's go to Farmer's question. What if those tapes had info relating to unknown situations now lost forever? Well, okay. That kind of goes to my point. What about all the other tapes? I mean, they probably lost those too. You guys remember James Lucas, right?
Around the
Let's
same
talk about him.
time as the 13-year-olds before they went missing. Police say he isn't a suspect, but someone they want to talk to hopefully get more information about what happened to Libby and Abby.
And police are moving fast on leads. Eyewitness News reporter Rich Van Wyk spoke with one of the people questioned by police today, and he joins us now from near the crime scene. Rich?
John, at the crime scene today, we learned just how difficult it was for the killer and
snap,
their
Julia.
victims to get to this remote area.
We better
It's
sneak
steep,
in.
It's treacherous. It's difficult. We also learned more about why police want to talk specifically to one man who was in the same area as these girls, roughly about the time they disappeared. The crime scene is serene and isolated. Hard to reach, hard to leave, making it almost hard to believe such a horrible crime occurred here.
It's just hard to comprehend as to what's happened here.
Ron Logan has owned and roamed these woods for 50 years. Through the trees, he pointed to the now infamous Monon High Bridge.
At the end of the bridge there is where their last photographs were taken.
By Libby of her friend Abby. The Monday afternoon, they disappeared. They were about half a mile away from where searchers found their bodies. It's a half mile of steep hills, high bluffs, and deep ravines.
No, it's not an easy trip. And I'm quite amazed anybody knows how to get here.
Investigators say they've identified almost everyone in the area when the girls disappeared, except this man, photographed on the same bridge the girls visited. Since releasing the photo, they've received hundreds of tips.
Did he see somebody else that maybe some of the others didn't see? And so we just basically want to talk to him just to see what information he's got for us.
James Lucas says police also asked to speak with him.
It was scary. I never expected it.
So if you can group up like
Lucas says he was one of the hundreds of searchers. Police asked him a few questions, checked his phone, then let him go.
They said if they need me later, they would get a hold of me.
All while a community is coming to grips.
All right. So they took this guy's phone. They probably took everybody's phone that was tipped in, right? So what about his phone information? Should they have his too on hand, ready to go? What if they lost it? Does it matter? They checked it. They're not interested in it. And here he is sitting alone in the new direction presser after being tipped in, interrogated, and his phone given to law enforcement and checked, just like Brad and Logan. Same goes for James here. Okay, where's his phone information? Should they care? Nobody cares about that. Why? Because it's most likely irrelevant. Have you seen this guy's Facebook? It's all like prostitution accounts. It's all like sexual, I don't know, it looks like deviant kind of shit. Like a lot. So there he is. And remember what Doug Carter said.
Directly
Durka.
to the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight. Directly to the killer, who may be in this room.
Who may be in this room. Okay, so here's a guy tipped in. They took his phone. He's got a deviant Facebook and you have Doug Carter saying those words. Shouldn't we care what happened with his phone data? I mean, could there be something on there now that we didn't see before? No, because it doesn't matter. They checked it and it didn't fit with what they're looking for. That's crazy, Christine. I don't know, Saint. They were looking for something. They had that bullet and they knew that it belonged to the killer. They were hoping he was just dumb enough to hold on to that gun. Farmer says, guess what's messing me up are the most recent things you've been looking into. It seems all connected somehow again. I can never seem to get a grip on the reality of this case. It is frustrating. I would say disprove your own theories first. Go into them knowing that they're wrong, but you plan to prove yourself right or prove yourself wrong. Oh yeah, GP. There's not a whole lot going on with that. There's just a report by that young lady who has a YouTube channel where she recorded him, and then I guess he ended up resigning, right? Judge Fouts. That's really it. If you have anything else on him, I'd like to take a look. But there's only like one article and then some Facebook or YouTube videos from that lady. Yeah, when you start hearing about people like Brian Phillips, Garrett Kurtz, all these crazy people that were around the bridge that day, like that's kind of scary. Hiawatha says they received 101 other audio interviews, some not relevant. So that probably do have that guy's data. Yeah, they probably do. And if they lost it, I mean, does it matter? I mean, they shouldn't go around throwing away audio, but I'm saying, hey, if you file something with most likely not involved, it's a chance it might get lost. That's a low priority file. Yeah, that's a good point, Saint. All the hearsay, speculation, a lot of the things that we thought were fact that really weren't. Strip that all away, and yeah, it is actually just a simple case with the few things that are hard to get over, like the premeditation of it all or the apparent premeditation of it all. I mean, I can't get past that. And during the Lost documentary made by Shakespeare, Hannah Shakespeare, I think the witnesses, I think they said something very similar to that as well. Yeah, I don't know, GP. I couldn't find a whole lot on him. We were going to do a segment on him during a members only. But I found that article and then just those YouTube videos. Common sense. Yeah, how do you get past that bullet? There's no way around it. Dude, you were at the trails that day and your bullet is at the crime scene? Like, bro, you're the killer. Sorry. You're the guy. Yeah, it's the most relevant. Texas Rose, welcome in. Other men who look like BG. I don't know. We did comparisons on all of them. They looked into Brad Holder, weren't concerned. They looked into Mike Patty, weren't concerned. Looked into Patrick Westfall. He had an alibi. And he might be too tall. We did a comparison with Brad Holder. He fits, kinda. He's a pretty close match. He's closer than, I would say, like a Ron Logan. But he's still too tall, a little too tall. Then there seems to be some confusion about whether or not he had a beard or not. But I don't think it matters what we think or who we think the bridge guy is. What matters is that the witnesses can tell the jury that the guy that's in that video, the bridge guy that Libby captured on video, thank God she got that video, because without that, the witnesses will never ever be able to say, hey, the guy we ran into at 1:30 or whatever time it was, around 1:30, that's the same guy that's in the video. Do you think that that's Richard Allen? It would be hard to say, but yeah, it looks like him. One of them got a good look at him. Yeah, so I don't know, GP, if he was targeting Abby and Libby. It just seems that way. Like, why is he so... He's almost in a full disguise. What's up, Misty? Yeah, for sure. Farmer. When they were searching that crime scene and they found that bullet, I guarantee, regardless of what Margaret says, they thought, man, this is probably belongs to the killer. This bullet right here. I guarantee they scooped it up, took all the proper precautions and said to themselves, this most likely belongs to somebody involved in this crime. Thank you, Sensei. Yeah, Satan, if they can't prove that he did this in that courtroom, he should walk. Doesn't mean that's the end of the road. Definitely a worst case scenario, but it happens all the time. So are you accusing law enforcement and Doug Carter of being... What? I don't know what that is. For 7 years, Doug Carter still speaks of complex crime, many tentacles. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think anybody, Misty, should get past that bullet. That's the reason he's in jail right now. They searched his home, found his gun, did a comparison, found a match, locked his ass up. It's that simple. You think Doug Carter is dirty? All right, go ahead and tell me one reason why. Just one. He might be. Welcome in, Daily Survivor. I don't know, Farmer. The source video may not be enough. Yeah, exactly, GP. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, what's your alibi then? Okay, where were you? And I guarantee they took his phone and everything too. They did what they did to Richard Allen, what they did to Brad Holder and James Lucas. They did everything just like they did with them. The only difference is they found something. You didn't know that, Margaret? That's funny.
You can read this.
How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? What's up, Chandler?
Hey, well, gosh, you always have these when I'm at work. It's really rare to see you online when I can actually talk to you.
What's on your mind, buddy?
Gosh, I've been following true crime for 20 years, but I've never called into one of these, so first time.
Well, welcome. I'm glad you did.
You familiar with the Maura Murray case?
No, not too much.
Well, that's actually when all this started. That was the first major case to blow up online, to have a social media presence. Facebook actually came out not long after she went missing.
Oh, okay. That's
So
when it started.
going way back, machine, but that's when all this started. That is like when there were social media people influencing a case and people making podcasts and stuff like that. So that's actually kind of the history of where you came from if you go back far enough.
What brought you to my channel then? Just the Delphi
Well,
case in
there's
general?
only two cases I've ever followed. It was Maura Murray and this one, because I was actually in Indiana and I heard about this case while I was in Indiana, doing representing a company doing some development in the more rural areas of Indiana. And I had heard about, it was 2018, I had heard about the Delphi murders there. So just these two cases I followed, and I followed Delphi really closely after that. It's just pretty wild to see that this is blown up in the way it has, because back then, I mean, when I went to Indiana, to those areas, and I had first heard about it, I had learned about Odinism back then. That was long before. I mean, because it's not as uncommon there. You would never think something like that be common. But
I learned about it from Brad, looking into Brad Holder.
I learned about it because while I was working down there, actually, like on there's farming paganism there too, not specifically Odinism, but they'll put what to the untrained eye would look like pentagrams on the side of barns. And like, I'm from Chicago, so when I was in the area there, it was pretty jarring seeing off the side of the road. And I'd asked the locals there what that was about, and they explained that there's farming paganism that goes back generations and generations, and they do it for good luck. And then from that, I learned kind of about, the Odinism, not problem, but, some people are troublemakers, like the white supremacy and so on, that is linked to that. And that was long before any of that had come out, and it's fascinating to see from the very first case, from Maura's case, how this has just like been a rerun for me. The exact same things have happened online. The exact same things have happened. People accused. It's like the field of dreams. I mean, if you build it, they will come. Okay, it's the field of nightmares. Let's just call it that instead.
So what do you think it is? Almost just creating a scenario and then dropping all us, the lab rats, into the maze and just kind of watching us go crazy, or what?
Well, in Maura's case, the first one, even in 2004, there was the same sociopaths that came out. By the time the case had gotten really famous, half the creators at the time, they weren't called creators, but were suing each other, had restraining orders. The same stuff that's happened now. The families were, having legal action against creators and so on. It's the same show. The same like trailer park WWF fights between people. Like it. There's even a Richard that probably was the murderer in that case. They both happened in February. They both happened around Valentine's Day. As I've watched this case, it's just fascinating how it's been the same thing over and over again, and how useless I've really loved the things that you have noticed, because I think there's some important things that you learn if you look back at how this all started. In 2004, when true crime really launched off with the Murray case, people didn't know these things. But looking back, you've hit the nail on the head. It took me 20 years to realize it, that when you're looking online, you probably are talking to a killer. Okay? From crime and memoriam, since police have always known that the criminal goes back to the scene of the crime. The internet has created this outlet for these people who do bad things to go and to watch the wreckage of the things they've done. Well, and I think you're very right that Richard Allen probably was posting.
It kind of reminds me of back in the day with the arsonist, that case where he would film, he would come back and watch the ambulances and the fire trucks, kind of like he was directing his own Hollywood movie. That's the part that he liked, was all of the commotion and all the chaos after the fire really got going.
Yeah. And I just wanted to let you know, like, from the beginning of this, in 2004, even, the people were like, it was useless to talk to people online because you were having these seemingly irrational points keep being made, and things that facts of the case get ignored and drowned out because there's this endless stream of voices that make no sense. And I think a lot of that has to do with not just people who were obsessed with cases, but you are talking to somebody that was probably involved, and that could happen.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And just, it happened in her case. And I've seen it in this one. I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm sure Richard Allen's involved. And I think it's important that people remember when they're making these points to try and exonerate him. I hope that the prosecution does what you have suggested, and just whatever the defense brings up just says, okay, well then how is Richard Allen an odinist? Okay, well then how did Richard Allen meet Keegan Klein?
The whatever case.
Exactly. Just
that's their strategy right now. They're just, whatever the defense brings forward, their answer will be, well, fine. How does Richard Allen being on the bridge tie in with that theory or with what you're bringing forward?
Well, it once again go back to the beginning. Like in Moore's case, people who are familiar with it, think like the point you made the other day, which was so profound, which I hope that people bring up, how hard it was for him not to be found. Just like in the case, in the first true crime case, you can find every person that has to do with the case, but it's that one person you can't find. Think of how good the internet is at finding these people. We know, well, not publicly, but we know every person that was on that trail. We know their name, their birthday, everything. All those, even the minor girls who were there, people found the names and had them not long after. To think we were able to get all that information, but no one found Richard Allen. Think of the work he had to put into not being found, and how kind of damning that is.
Yeah, people aren't giving him enough credit for his proactive behavior.
Yeah, and just once again, if you go back to the first case, in Moore's case, there's a person in that case who worked tirelessly not to be brought up. And just, it's fascinating to see, the Richard in that case, how hard they worked, and how the same thing happened, how everyone online would go and say, oh, well, that just is a coincidence.
Well, he's still working hard. I think he's still
I think he is. And I'm sure people, I hope you remember that it doesn't stop. You're still talking to Richard Allen's friends and relatives. There's people on posting about this stuff, and I don't think I will not be shocked when someone murders someone in the future and makes a YouTube channel about their crime. I think it's only a matter of time. I will not be shocked if there were people at the end of this who created content on this, who knew what happened and knew Richard Allen. I'm not saying who, I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either. I'm sure they might get pissed off if somebody's not tying 2 and 2 together. They might need to give the public a little push in the right direction. Like, what was his name? The Happy Face Killer? Yeah.
Well, I have to just two more things real quick. Sure. 2 lessons. Number one, if you're talking online, these are 3 rules of true crime I've found in 20 years. Okay. You're probably talking to the killer. That's probably why it doesn't help you talking online if you don't remember these things. Number 2, because of number 1, you're talking to the police. The police post online and follow cases online if they get high profile enough. In Mora's case, they admitted to this. They said they were online, they were posting about it and talking about it. So keep in mind, you could be talking to the police. And number 3, if you're dealing with someone with money, just real quick, just to help you out, because you're going to have more cases. And I hope you do. You're doing such a great job.
Thanks.
Okay. If you're dealing with someone with a lot of money, if they have representation, you're talking to the representation. Any person who has retainer for a lawyer now has public image response teams in place. There's literally like a room full of people in India posting 24/7 for someone to try and help their image, to try and avoid lawsuits, to try and avoid being canceled, and so on. Okay, so if there were 3 things I could say to help you guys out, just to remember from someone who's seen this from the start, You're talking to the killer. You're talking to the police. If you're dealing with money, you can be talking to the representatives. So just when you see things posted online, just remember those three things and look at it through those lenses. It'll help you out a lot.
It's all a catfish.
Oh, yeah. It's so much of it is since Barack Obama's first presidential campaign, that's when like the big troll farm thing, not troll farm, but influencing online through fake accounts thing started. My girlfriend at the time actually worked for his campaign. Remember the Reverend Jeremiah Wright? Were you around? Do you remember that?
Refresh my memory.
So during the campaign between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, this was long ago, it came out that Barack Obama had a controversial pastor named Jeremiah Wright, who gave lots of anti-American sermons, and Obama was in his pews every Sunday. And Hillary Clinton was using...
back to the birth certificate stuff?
No, this isn't the birth certificate thing.
Okay.
But he gave a lot of anti-American sermons, and this was before he got the nomination. And David Axelrod at the time, he came up with this amazing idea, which now people would say is completely wrong when like someone in Russia does it or so on, of having 100 people in rooms posting online during Barack Obama's response to this scandal. So Barack Obama gave a speech on all the major news networks addressing this scandal of Jeremiah Wright, the pastor. And David Axelrod had all the campaign staff posting on Yahoo. Well, there wasn't like Reddit wasn't as big a thing, but all the major social media sites at the time, making as many accounts as they could, having as many open windows as they could, posting how, they're convinced that that was an incredible speech and incredible response, and they understand where Obama's coming from and all this stuff. There's always been spin rooms before, but I believe that was like the big beginning of the internet spin.
The bots?
Yes. Well, they aren't bots. They were real people then.
Well, now they're bots.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I knew someone who was one of them who was told to go on and make 10 Yahoo accounts with all these different emails and type how in the comments how much they were convinced by his speech, how it wasn't controversial anymore, and so on. So
yeah,
at least
Twitter was made famous for doing that recently.
Yeah. But it goes back so long. I mean, just to look back from that point on, people with money knowing that controlling the internet image is an easy thing, it's manipulable, and seeing it happen in true crime time and time again, I just hope people realize, in the next case that pops up, if someone has enough assets, not that that's in the Delphi case, I'm talking about in the Mora case, you'll see this thing where if you can track it down, there's like 20 people in India posting about a case in New Hampshire. And raise an eyebrow when you see that, because those people are not interested in the case. They're paid to be there. It's just, I've seen it, these interesting little things that keep popping up, and I just wanted to share them, and I hope they help.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because there'll be another case, Okay, well, take it easy. Hey, great talking with you.
All right, thanks, Chandler.
Keep up the great work, man.
I appreciate it.
Hey, if you ever want to cover the Mora case, send me a message.
You got it. I will. Shoot me an email at sleuthintuition@gmail.com so I know how to get in touch with you.
Yep. Bye.
All right. Thanks. All right, guys. Shout out to Chandler for calling in. I appreciate that. Tech Death thinks Chandler is an FBI plant. Did raise a couple red flags. Remember, you're talking to the killer. You trying to tell me something, Chandler? Are you projecting? No, I'm just kidding. Grandmasaurus. I like that. Not Robert Plant. A plant or a mole? Yeah, that's a good one. Well, thanks, Chandler. I appreciate you calling in. I think we're going to start wrapping it up unless anybody else wants to phone in or if you guys have anything else. That was my point. That's all. I think I made my point. The defense team is busy trying to make Brad Holder look guilty, but really he's helping to make him look innocent. He's reminding everybody how much law enforcement looked into them and how quickly they were looked into. Same goes with Ron Logan. Why are you guys searching Ron Logan's house so much? Well, it's not that we're trying to accuse him. We're trying to eliminate him just as much as we're trying to accuse him. We're doing this to eliminate him. But when you go through the process of elimination and there's some boxes you can't check, you found your guy. Hiawatha, I'm the killer, a cop or a spin doctor. Yeah, it was just funny when Chandler said, just remember, you're talking to the killer. I was like, okay. You have my attention now because I'm talking to you. Right. As long as he didn't say I was in Indiana in February of 2017. What's going on, Tech? Thanks, Mustang. Good to see you. Gail. Must be crazy people living under a bridge. Yeah, how scary is that, though, to think that the day that the girls were murdered, there was like multiple killers just kind of orbiting that entire area. Thanks, Farmer. Thanks for the donation the other day, too. I appreciate that. It helps. It really does. I'm not the killer. I don't have money, and I'm not the cops either. I promise. Thank you, Mustang. Hey, that was nice of you, Zoe. Who got hooked up? What's going on, Misty? You're welcome, Texas. Tech Death. I need a membership gift again. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. We're doing a big giveaway at the beginning of next month. So if you're registered on the website, if you're a member, if you've donated to the Cash App, or all of the above, then you're going to be you'll be in there multiple times. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, email me. I'll go and delete it, and then you can go and retry it again, V. I need to fix that. That's the only complaint I have so far about the website. Like all the security settings are set too high. Tech Death, you can do a Cash App card. When I signed up for Cash App, they sent me a Visa card. I use it all the time. It has tap and everything. Jari, what's up? Yeah, Pinky. It seems pretty easy to use. But either way, thank you guys for hanging out, talking about Abby and Libby's case. If you want my opinion, like I said, justice is right around the corner. Richard Allen is running out of cards to play. And he just, in my opinion, he just wants to get into some kind of, back into some kind of a routine where he can just say, okay, he can just set down that weight. It's got to be a heavy weight. He's carrying this burden on his shoulder. And he seems like he's just really stubborn. And he keeps telling himself, I can carry this weight. But at some point, he's going to be the fog is going to start clearing, and he's going to look out that window and he's going to say, man, I'm busted. I just want to sit down. I want to relax. I want to watch a TV show. I want to write a letter to my daughter. I want to listen to some music. I want to work out. I want to read some of my favorite books. I don't want to do this anymore. And I think that time is rapidly approaching. So until next time, guys, take it easy. Peace.